Connecting. There we are. Okay, hello everybody. We have a Thursday workout focusing on our upper body strength and core today. So equipment wise, I have my 8-pound dumbbells as well as my loop bands and a mat. That's really all you guys need today unless you want to use your TRXs, if you have those guys set up. We are going to be doing some rows and such, which will be a really good option if you do have a TRX, as well as long bands. If you do have those, you can set those up, whether it's the ones with the handles or just the long looped, for those rows as well. But I'm going to be using these two dumbbells and then the bands. Yes. Okay, so let's get you started with a warm-up, which today starts down on the floor. Come on down here. We're going to get into this all-four position. Take one hand and put it behind our head like so, and then try to bring our elbow down as close to our hand as we can. And then I'll open up with an exhale, and then close with an inhale. And we'll go through 10 of these per side, trying to move through our mid-back, lower back, upper back, not our hips or our legs. So everything in the lower body should stay still. So we'll go through 10, trying to breathe into this one, seeing if we can get open enough that we can see the ceiling as close to above us as possible, but not forcing anything. So we'll do that on both sides, 10 and 10. And same thing with the elbow. We're coming as close to the hand as we can, but if you can't touch, that's totally fine. We want to keep this arm straight. So this one shouldn't be bending down for you to make that contact. We'll just not go so low. So let's do it, 10 and 10. I feel like our workouts typically start down on the floor. This one feels nice though. Helps to open up your back, especially if you're doing this first thing in the morning, or maybe after you haven't done anything in a while, or maybe you've sat for a long time. Once you're done that one, you can stand yourself up to the top, and we're gonna go into these standing arm swimmers, technical term. So we'll go through these ones. You guys don't have to count these because we know that these ones are kind of tedious to count. They're quite quick. What we're trying to do is get that burning sensation starting in your shoulders. So if you're starting to feel that, I got Carly hopping in here. I don't know why Zoom just totally just is, hello Carly, hey. I have to manually accept you guys, but that's okay. Sticking our arms out, doing some of this, so your shoulders hopefully burning, yeah. We're gonna stick our hands, or turn our hands rather, this way now and go forward and backward. And again, we're trying to go until we feel that fire starting to brew in our shoulders. So once you feel that, which is most likely already happening, we'll relax our arms and roll them out in big circles with our arms down by our sides. We'll do 3 of them backwards, bringing them down, forward, up, and back 3 times, and then 3 of them forwards. Think about it. Control the shoulders. So we want a lot of movement without moving our arms, which makes it a little bit harder. So we'll go 3 and 3. And then we will swing these arms out. Straight arms, you can swing them across, over, and then under, loosening up all that. Okay, so next one, we're gonna bring ourselves to a wall. Now, if you don't have a wall, it's completely fine. You guys can just do this without a wall. Just pretend that there's a wall in front of you. But I like using the wall because it really does make us do this without our body cheating, because we know that that likes to happen. So we're gonna stick our thumbs behind us like this and extend our arms straight above my head. I'm gonna kind of cut off here, but you guys can see what's happening. I'm gonna rotate my arms out to the side here, trying to keep them off the wall, and then start to turn my thumbs to the wall, down, and then back up, and attempt to touch my knuckles together behind my body. And then we'll come back out of that. I know I'm getting your brain going a little bit here. So again, if you don't have a wall, you can just do this without the wall. But as you guys can see, I mean, the wall's here, so I can't have my hands in front of me. It's a lot harder, or takes a lot more mobility, I should say, to get our arms back here, which is what we're going for in this one. So we'll go through this 10 times total, up and down, turning the thumbs up in the back, thumbs up at the top, and 10 of these. So again, by now, we should start to really be burning in our shoulders. Once you guys are done, we'll swing them out a few more times, maybe 10 of them if you want to count, maybe technical, over and under, and I'll let you guys finish that up. While I have a sip of water. It is freezing cold out there today. It's sunny, so I can't be mad. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is get you guys started down with our first set of our shoulder press. Now I'm gonna be showing you this with dumbbells. We're going to do a single arm, half kneeling shoulder press. If you don't have dumbbells, of course, I have a banded option, so you guys can just bring whatever you have over to your mat with you. We're gonna get ourselves into a half kneeling position. What I'm going to do right off the bat here is just give myself a little bit more support for my kneecap, because this mat it is not thick and it does not feel good to kneel on it, especially when we have to do this 15 reps per side. So what I'm going to do on the side that I'm kneeling on over here, I'm going to start with a lighter weight. So I'm just going to use one of my dumbbells. Eventually I'll work my way up to using both of my dumbbells. This arm today is out and strong to the side, and I want it like up at this 90-degree angle here. We're going to press 15 reps per side, and I'm just going to turn so you guys can see where my hand is. It's in this neutral position. We're not wide. We want to be out on this slight angle here, and we'll go through, fix the arm, 15 reps per side. Now, if you do not have dumbbells, you've got bands, and you're going to hold the bands like this and press up over your head, and you're going to get lots of work in this one, because this shoulder has to work the entire time as we're anchoring the band in place with this outer side. And yes, the resistance, the strength of your band will influence how hard this is. So if you start with a lighter band, which I would suggest you do, try it out, do your 15, switch sides, because we got to do both legs. Same thing if you're using a dumbbell. We'll switch, strong arm, and then we press. And we'll go through 15 on this side now. So I really like this half kneeling position, which you guys already know because we do it quite often, because it promotes us to have a strong core and takes any sort of pressure out of our lower back. And if you're feeling any, you just activate your glute, activate your core, maybe do a little bit of that pelvic tilt, and it will take that right out of it. So what we're going to do now is go right into another set, but a stronger or heavier set, I should say. So what I'm going to do is grab onto my second dumbbell. If you have like multiple sets of dumbbells, you can just grab one that is maybe 5 pounds heavier, maybe 10 if that's all you got. And we're going to go into our first official working set. Okay, so that one we just did there was just a warm-up set, a little extra, a little bonus. Now we're going to go into this first working set, and I'm going to use these 2 8s to make this 16-pounder right here, which is going to be challenging for this, but I can do it, especially if I use my breath. Exhale when I push up, and so you guys can go through your set. 15. And if you're using the band, same thing. Maybe you just do the same thing you did on the first set, just go nice and slow. With either of these, if we need to make this harder without changing weight, but let's say you have a 10 and then you have like a 20-pound dumbbell, and like that 20 ain't going up there 15 times, it's just too heavy. So what I would have you do instead is use the 10 and then just maybe hold it at the top, or maybe go slow on the way down. You have 2 options. You can do a little combo of both. And that's going to make that feel, that 10 or whatever you're holding there, that might be a little bit light normally, it won't be too light, okay? So that's going to be our first exercise. You guys are going through that. We're going to pair this with a Superman with that pull-in. So we're actually, I got up, but we're staying down here on the floor. So I'm going to use my loop band here. If you have a long set band, you can grab onto that. What we're going to be doing is holding it sideways like this. Laying on my tummy for the Superman. So I'm going to hold my band, pressure on the band, feet on the floor, core tight, and I'm going to pull that band in, keeping pressure on it, pushing my elbows down into the floor. So I don't want to be lifting up so that I'm putting any pressure on my ribs or my lower back. I want to stay down, but do have my shoulders come down and back. So the shoulders should come down. We shouldn't have no neck. We want to have shoulders pulled behind our ears. So we'll go through these. You guys have 15 reps of them, all the reps, and let's do it. So whatever you're holding in your hands, whether it's a long band sideways, a loop band, or maybe a towel, Or maybe you have nothing. That's okay too. We want to push the elbows down to the floor, and that's going to help us engage those big back muscles on the sides of our back, and you'll feel it more if you do that. Okay. 15. 15 reps. Let's get it. All right, so this is you guys. We are doing this 3 more times. Back to that first one, that half kneeling, one arm shoulder press, where we're going to go through 15 reps per side. We don't need any rest between these, so we can just go back to back. We're pretty much just down on the floor, so you don't really need too much rest. We'll just try to get through these 3 sets. Unless you guys are going to grab your water, you can take a couple sips. But besides that, we're just doing our thing here. So right into our second set, trying to do the same thing that we did on the first set with the shoulder press. So we'll go through a nice 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down. That's our normal tempo. Anything slower than that on the way down is going to make it a lot harder. So even if you're maxed out with all the weights that you have, that's something that you can still do. And it burns, and I know. Okay. So we're going through these, again, both sides of them. And we'll go right into our Superman with that pull in. So again, I'll show you guys with the long band, which is the exact same as that loop band. It would be the exact same as a towel. I'm just going to hold it wide like this, a little bit wider than our shoulders, and then pull it in. And we want to keep pressure on this. So I wouldn't use too strong of a band because I don't want to have my hands in here. I want to have them out in that position there so that I can get close to a 90-degree angle at my arms here. So if you're using like a loop band, I could not use this one. This one's like super strong. I don't know how it looks on there, but the yellow one is the light one I have, so I would definitely use that for this. So if I use this one, you guys can see I can't quite get my hands wide enough. Well, I certainly could not do that for 15 reps. So you can lighten it up, or simply just don't use anything because you're going to get a little bit more with the arms in this position. Ooh, upper body. 2 more sets. Woo! Let's do it. The shoulder presses. So we got 15 and 15. Going through these ones. Trying to keep that neutral position in our arms. And breathing, because this one is gonna creep up on you if it has not already. Especially because we're not taking much rest in between these. Easter burner. So we'll get through this 3rd set here as strong as you can, and using our breath, staying active in our core. And then we have 1 more to do. So a reminder of that strong arm. If you guys are using the dumbbells, hold it out to the side here, which yes, makes it feel a little bit harder because we're actually actively using this arm out here. So that's why I want you guys to do it as much as you can. All right, Superman, 15 of them. There we go. Let's get it. So 3rd set here, nice and strong. So if you are starting to feel your lower back, which hopefully you're not, but have a good technique if you are, all you have to do is just activate your glutes. Just like I said on the half kneeling press, same rules apply. Because if these are active, it's going to put all of that work onto there rather than onto your lower back. So I know some of us are like me and you're in the sensitive lower back club, and we just sometimes just don't know what causes it. Sometimes it's just wake up and your lower back's tight, or you picked up something weird, or I don't know, someone jumped and you grabbed them. That happens with my niece and nephew. But yeah, you just don't know why. But sometimes you just have to think about these things. So that's something that helps, is just tightening up the back of the hips and or pulling in your belly button to help draw on your core and just make this as strong as possible. All right, so you guys are on your last set. Let's get it in. Number 4. Woo-hoo-hoo. And then, oh yeah. Okay, so we'll get this last set in. Number 4, do it up, nice and strong. We have about 2 minutes until we should be moving on, or starting to move on rather. All right. It's funny though, these Superman pull-ins. I feel like, because I do these weekly in my programming, sometimes twice a week, I feel like they just never feel like they get easier. They always just burn and feel, maybe because I like them and I really think about them and I squeeze, but hopefully you're feeling that as well in your upper back area, not even between the shoulder blades, but more like down in your lats, pulling in here, pushing the elbows down. So we'll try to get that nice and strong in this last set. Once you guys are done, you get off the floor. You can stand up and grab yourself some water and walk it off. We're going to move on to the next part here. We give you 1 more minute to finish up there before we do. So take your time. Take your sweet time. Next up here, we do have an optional TRX exercise. So if those of you who need to actually like hook it up or whatever, I'm not sure what your setup is like, but now would be your time to shine if you do want to use that and add that in. Okay, so we're gonna get you guys going on, yes. Okay, so we'll start off with the rows, which are going to be a single arm exercise. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So we're doing a 1-arm row. Now I'm going to be doing it similar style to the way I did my shoulder press in terms of the way I use my dumbbells. I'm going to use both of them like this. For those of you who, again, have TRXs, great, really, really challenging exercise to do a single arm row with the TRX. So we know the double arm row, TRX, you guys can kind of imagine me doing that. So the single arm row is much more challenging. So if I'm like leaned back like this on the double arm row, I'm gonna be standing up a little bit more upright, and then same thing, I'm gonna have my arm out and strong, and I'll be pulling myself in over here with my body moving up and down. So you're gonna be a bit more upright. So if you do have that, I recommend that you try it and see how it feels. We're doing 12 reps per side, okay? So I do not have that. So I'm gonna show you guys the dumbbell option as well as my loop band option, because those are my two. The other way we could do this is with our anchored band in front of us, pulling that bad boy in, okay? So 12 reps, let's do this. So I'm gonna go right into my heavy weights. Super strong muscle back here. We're nice and warm. We don't need to do any kind of warm up set. Standing hip width apart, soft knees, push my hips back, strong arm out here. I want the palm facing inward, and then we're gonna pull in and go through 12 reps total, where I'm trying to pull this hand in and slightly around my rib cage. So we'll go through 12 of these. If you're using bands, we're gonna go like this. Anchor that band around opposite foot, and you'll pull that in, same rotation with the hand. So we'll go through 12. on each side. This black band is very strong. So we'll do that 12 on one side, and then you can switch and do 12 on the other side. And we're trying to, again, strong core, pull in with that shoulder leading the way. So we want the shoulder pulling back behind my ear rather than the elbow hiking up like this. We want a very active shoulder and back pulling down. Ooh, yes. Okay, so 12 and 12. There we go. Okay, so once you guys have done this, we are going to pair this with a combo move. We have a lateral to rear delt raise. So we've done this one before. We'll come back. I'm going to use my dumbbells. I'm going to show you guys the band option as well. So dumbbells, you can just hold them in your hands. If you have anything heavier than 10 pounds, you can just kind of hang tight. And I'll show you some way to still use those with those dumbbells, just making it a little easier. If you're using bands, if you have loop bands, what I would probably do for this one is make a long band. So I would loop these through together like this, and then we're going to do a lateral raise, and then we bend over and do a rear delt raise, and that would be 1, and we're going to do 10. So let's do this. Dumbbells down by your sides. Again, if you're using the band, it's in front of you. We're going to lift up into a T, and then hinge our hips. So we want soft knees, and we want very nice posture as we go back. And then I'm going to punch my closet. And then we lift up into that rear delt, and then we stand, and then a T, and then I get down, and then that's 2. And I'm going through 10 of these total. So the up, and then the rear, that equals 1. So we want strong core, really good movement through the hips. We don't want to be rounding down like this. Think about just pushing your hips back, and that really just takes you down. We want to be above parallel, so not quite down all the way like so. Right about here. If you're using something quite heavy, if you're stuck with like 10s or 12s or something like that, you can try doing this with bent arms. So bent arms, and it's going to make it feel a lot easier because the weights are closer. Leverage, science, or physics rather, which I guess is science. Anyways, let's do our thing here. We'll go through 10. If you do not want to loop these through, whether you only have like one band, or maybe you just don't like how much of an annoyance it is sometimes to undo them between your sets, that's completely fine. You can do this with a lighter band as well. Just be careful with it because they do snap. I know they're, they feel like they're good to go, but sometimes they will definitely catch you off guard. And so you can still do this here with a lighter band. Just you gotta think about this one a little bit. There we go. Just be careful with it. So if I had I'd probably even use this one if I had the option to, and I could go up all the way. We got it? All right. Let's do it again. So same idea here, you guys. No rest in between. We're going back to back between these two exercises. Doing a thing for 3 more sets. So we're in those rows, 12 reps per side, and then we're doing this raise to raise combo, 10 total. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. So same rules. As that shoulder press, we want to make this harder and slow it down or hold it in. Those are 2 really, really easy things that you can do with any sort of equipment that are going to make this entire set feel a lot harder. And that's what we want. We don't want to be getting to 12 and thinking that we want to get 50. We just want 12 reps. That's it. We want to make those 12 so hard that we literally want to put this down. Because, we probably could pull out a couple more reps, but they wouldn't be the prettiest. That's how I want you guys feeling towards the end. So if you're not feeling like that, if you're feeling like you get to 10 or 12, and you can probably keep pulling and keep rowing, why don't you try this in the next set? Pull in and hold, and then slowly let it down, and see how that feels. And you can do that with, again, any type of equipment, whether it is dumbbells, bands, TRXs, whatever you got, you can do that with. Whether you want to or not. All right, so the second set of our raise. laterals to rear delts, just into a T. Very common mistake in this one is to come up higher than that T position, which is really just unnecessary and sometimes does not help our case, because what we start to do here is we start to use other muscles in our neck and in our shoulders that we don't want to be using, like our traps in the back here. And it just kind of jacks up our neck and back in the worst way. So just a T and just a T. If you're feeling like your weights are too heavy, you have to kind of like shrug up like this to do it, bent arms. Even a little bit of a bend makes a big difference. All right, 2 more seconds. Let's do it. Okay, 12 and 12. Good job, guys. Third set. Getting it in. So we'll work through these ones and taking our time with it. Trying to go quickly between our exercises, between our sets, but as controlled as possible within these reps. There it is. Good job, you guys. I'm pulling in so good. Feeling all those reps, wanting to stop at 12. Not just because you want to, but it feels like it. So we'll go into our third set of that combo. Lateral raise, rear delt raise. And you guys have one more round of this stuff. After this, we have a tricep, so 3 exercises done in a little circuit. And then we are working our core on the floor till the end. All right, let's get this in here. So 10 total. And trying to breathe through these, especially towards the end. We want to try to not use any momentum, and that would be us like, well, yeah, trying to use our knees and our body to lift those weights. If you feel that is happening, hey, you can bend your arms and try it like that, even a little bit, because we don't want that bouncy momentum. It doesn't look good, it doesn't feel good, it doesn't do good for the exercise. Just maybe feels easy. Easier. All right, so we'll do our thing here. We got our final set. 12 and 12. Let's do it. There you go. Good job, you guys. So breathe through those ones. These last set of the rows. So we're going through and trying to get a 90-degree angle at our elbow. Sometimes I do have to do a little shoulder check just to make sure. I have a very bad habit of hiking up my elbow. Maybe this is why I always talk to you guys about this, because I used to do it all the time. So make sure that that's not happening, especially on this last set. You can think about then pulling your shoulder back, and the further back this is, the more of that angle you're going to have. If this is forward, then we got that chicken wing situation going on, which we don't want. Only the actual chicken wing food. We don't want the elbow. But make sure that that's not happening, because it tends to happen when we get tired, which might be now. So this is your final sets of these ones. Let's do it. All right, you guys, nice work. So we'll get this in. This is the last set. And how are we doing for time? We are pretty good. We got about 2 minutes until we should be starting the next part. Okay. There it is. Raising and raising. better. Just feel like I have a little PTSD from the other day. It did give me a warning too when it cut off the other day. Just cut off. We're good though. All right, final set, you guys. I'm going to give you less than a minute to finish up. So hopefully you are started your second part there of that little combo. Moving on to the next part, still option with the TRX. So if you have it set up, don't take it down yet because we're going to use it for, drum roll, more rows, but different ones. Different ones. Okay. So if you're done, just grab a quick sip of water. We'll just chill out here and get ourselves ready. We always just drop everything wherever and then I like trip on it. All right, so we're gonna move on here, you guys, starting off with our first exercise, which is going to be down on the floor, which is going to be a combination of a Superman done like this and a push-up of your choice. So we can either go normal push-up or then narrow push-up, which we know is a lot harder. So I'm going to give you guys this option. We're doing 10 total, but we're going to raise into the Superman and then push ourselves up off the floor into a push-up 10 times, and then we stand up, and I have 2 more exercises that we're going to do with this one. We're going to get down there and just start this so that we can get our first set out of the way. So we have to do 4, and then we're going to move on to the final part, which is all abs and core work, and it's on the floor. So yeah, seems to be our theme of this workout. Okay, so we're gonna lay down here, start our first set. You want space on your side. So I'm gonna scooch up so that I have this room here. Feet down. For this one, I'm actually going to have my toes down like this. We're going to lift up just the shoulders. So my feet stay down, knees stay down, hips down. Just the shoulders squeeze together. And then we come down and then bring in, but hover on the floor into wherever you want to do your push-up. So I'm going to do a normal one because the narrow ones are really hard. And so we'll go exhale and push up off the floor and then lower down, but touch our chest first. And then arms out, squeeze in, exhale, push up, and that's 2. Okay, so start here with me. If you really need to, you can use your knees. But then I want you to go onto your toes and lower down your whole body, which I know is really hard, but it's going to help you get stronger and better at push-ups, knees, toes, lower. Okay, if you're really good at push-ups, if you want to do the narrow ones, that is going to make this much more challenging. But you guys already knew that. Woo! So we'll do those, 10 of them. Ain't nobody missing out on push-ups this week, although I trust hopefully some of you did complete a Tuesday workout, although we couldn't have a live one, but hopefully you did get something in. If not, we'll make up for it right now. Okay, so we're gonna stand up and go into a wide grip row. So TRXs, bring them out, bring them out. You're gonna use those if you have them. I'm gonna be using my dumbbells. And then I will show you guys the banded option, which is just us holding the band sideways. So you can just grab onto that. What I'm going to do is hold my hands so that my palms are facing together like this still. And then we're going to have our hands shoulder width apart. And then I'm going to pull out and wide into this position. So we want to go through these. We're doing 10 reps total. So I'll show you guys from the side. Wide elbows where they're sitting above my wrists. So I don't want this going on. We want the elbows high, and we're pulling in without a rotation. So no rotation going on. Oh, the bands are really hard too because you get lots of involvement in your shoulders and your rotator cuffs right deep in your shoulders because we're pulling this band apart. So, burns. 10. But not as much as this last one. Okay, so final one we're going to do is going to be our external rotation raises. So ideally you want something to hold in your hands, whether it is a band, a long band, a towel, just something to have in there to give you a bit of resistance so that you can pull out against it. It doesn't have to be a band, it could be just a towel, that's fine. We're gonna hold this 90-degree position here, pressure on the band, not too much though. Elbows in, and then we lift up to eye level, and then lower back into this 90 degree. So we lift up and lower, keeping that 90-degree angle, keeping the hands, forearms parallel. If this is happening, we don't want that to happen because that's making it feel really easy, really nice. And it's not working your shoulders in the same way as if we're like this. Even this, okay? So if you can even bring your elbows closer than your wrists, that is going to make this feel a lot more challenging. So we'll go through these. The wider the hands, the harder. Ouch. And we have 15 of them. So you've probably already done at least 10. Maybe you were hoping I was going to say 10, but you got 15 on the menu. So let's get those in. 15 of them. And then this one, we are going to take some rest because, ouch, that probably burned a lot. If you're doing that correctly, it should. And that's the kind of burn that we can work through. It should be. It shouldn't be sharp, painful, pinchy. And if that's the case, then let's make something change so that that does not happen. Especially if you've had like shoulder injuries, which is a very common one. You guys probably heard of like pulled and torn rotator cuffs and stuff. If you've ever had something like that, something like this might actually not feel the best, like in not a good way. And so you might want to do something else to sub that, in which case I'd maybe have you do like a pull apart or something else. So that's my precautionary disclaimer. So if you're feeling any kind of bad pain in that one, because I know, and I've worked with a lot of people with a lot of different stuff going on, that's something that you can sub instead. Okay, so I've just distracted you through your rest. Now let's start our second set, starting back with the first one, and you guys know what's up. It's down on the floor. It is our Superman 2 push-up, and we're going out and wide. It's more like a flying Superman, because Superman's this way. Okay, so let's start our set. We need space. Excuse me, the worm to get in front. So I have my toes down, and that's just for a quick transition from the Superman into the push-up. If I had my feet down like this, I'd have to like flip my toes up every time, and I feel like I just don't want to have to think about that. So I keep them like this, and that also reminds me that my legs are not lifting up in that Superman. We want to just keep it upper body only, and then we push up and we go through our set. So we want to try to get our entire body moving as one off the floor, which again, I know is totally easier said than done. But that's why we have that knee option. So if for some reason you can't keep it together in your core, that's what you can do instead. So we got our second set of our wide grip rows, the hands facing each other, and then we pull out and into that 90-degree position. Let's get it. 10 of them. So because we're putting our hands in this rotated position and we're pulling it out wide like that, we're really targeting the back of the shoulder more than like your actual back muscles like we were in the other ones. So that's why we're only doing 10 reps. And that's why this probably feels quite challenging compared to other rows. Not only just because we're more tired now, but because it's a smaller muscle. So same thing though, on the flip side of that, if you're feeling like 10 reps is not really enough on that one, and if you could probably do more, you might feel like you can do more, but we still want to just keep it at 10 and make them hard. So you can hold it in or just simply think about it more. So we'll go through that third one. We need a reminder on the burn. So open up the hands, and we'll try to get them a little bit wider than our elbows like this, and then we'll pull them up and lower them down. Going through a burning 15 of these. Now sometimes with these ones, I have to break them up into sets. It really depends on the day. Sometimes like I can just go right through my 10 or 15, whatever's on the menu, but sometimes I have to do like 5 and then shake it out, and then do 5 more, to build my way up to 15. And that's okay too, because everyone, we're all at different levels, and some of us have never really done this direct shoulder work like this before, or maybe it's been a hot minute and your body is telling you that. And so, yeah, you kind of break it up if you need to. because you guys have 2 more sets. Yay. And then, yeah, because we are getting there. We have about 5 minutes, which is plenty of time. Well, actually, it is just enough time. It is not plenty. But let's do it. All right, so third set. And we'll take a little bit of rest after that. That shoulder one. Ease the burner. All right, you guys. Third set. Oh, yes. So we're all probably feeling like these push-ups are a lot harder than our normal push-ups. And that is true because we're going through a bigger range of motion than our normal push-ups. Normally we just come down to 90 degrees and then we push up. And we still have, some space between our body and the floor. But in these ones, you guys are starting on the floor. So you have to push up from a deeper position than we normally do, which is why it's extra important that we keep our core tight, we keep everything in place, because these ones really help get us stronger at our normal push-ups, which who doesn't want? We all want that. So we'll really try to lock that in here on your last set because you're done there now. You have 1 more though to go after this. So let's get into these rows and try and think about those little guys I was talking about, muscles on the back of your shoulder, as opposed to these ones here. And so if you're having your elbows come up into that position, you don't really have to think about it too much. But if you do, it will help. Trying to bring them together and back and go through your nice controlled 10 reps. There it is. All right. So I feel like I showed you guys this just with the glute band. You can, of course, use a long band. For this, I'd actually probably lower one. So I just have a light one like this. And then I can do the same external lifts. Ooh, the burners, 15 of them with this band. It just kind of swings around. If you have the ones with the handles on you, it kind of like smack you sometimes. Sometimes what I like to do is actually like wrap my hands around it so it's kind of like rolled up and then use it that way, just so it doesn't, I mean, it's fine. It's just kind of annoying, but all right. So you guys are gonna shake it out after you're done that because burning, especially now, third set, it is creeping up, definitely catching up to us. We're gonna go through our final one, yay, and then move on right into our last part here, which should be starting in 3 minutes. So as soon as you guys are done that, again, do take rest because we're gonna need it before we go into our next set. But I will be moving us on in 3 minutes so that we have time, maybe 4, if you're lucky, so that we have time to go through our core on the floor. Ooh, shaking out, burning. And it's totally that burn that you just work through and it just, oh. But we're almost done the upper body stuff. We have 1 last set here. So take a couple deep breaths. When you're ready, we'll bring ourselves down onto the floor and finish up our final set of these push-ups. So oftentimes in push-ups, I'll say like, we don't want to be doing the worm. And what I'm talking about is the disconnect of our core in the push-up. So we don't want to be like pushing up like this and then fixing it at the top. We want everything to push up together as one. So this is not going to give you any benefit of your push-up, even a little bit. So we want to use the knees to have that core nice and strong, and then keep it nice and strong the entire time. Okay, so you got Superman in there. I know you won't forget that. I just wanted to talk about the push-up because that is certainly the hard part of this one. Last set, you guys, this is it. 10 of them. Let's get them in. I'm gonna make sure our timer is set for our last part. Which always seems to be yes, and we are yes. Oh, Oh yeah, this one today. Oh yes, it's a good one. Of course it was not said. All right, there we go. Okay, let's do it. There we go. Yeah, perfect. 10 minutes. That's right. We have time. I just always give myself a little extra time for the explanation. All right, guys. Okay, this is it. Final set of the strength exercises. Let's get them done. Finishing just as strong as we started. Although I know it's fire. I know. You're almost there though. So once you're done, you guys can put that stuff down, grab yourself some water, and make your way down to the floor. That is where we're going to be hanging out until the end of the class here, which is 10 minutes, well, technically 12. But this core circuit that we're going to do is going to take us 10. So take a little bit of time right now to grab water. And I'm going to move us down. Maybe I'll just angle it. There we go. There, I feel like you guys are like above me. That's okay though, we're gonna try this out. All right, so once you guys are done, we are headed down here and we don't need any equipment. We are simply just body weight for this little core situation going on right here. So what's gonna happen is I have my interval timer set and it's gonna beep every 30 seconds. What we're going to do is go through 3 exercises, 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds, and then we have a 30-second break. And we're going to do this 3 sets total. So we're going to go through these. I'm so sorry, 4 sets total. Yes, there's 3. I just had to do math. So we're going to go through 4 rounds. I didn't want you guys to like get your hopes up and then have them crushed when I'm like, oh wait, no, we have 1 more. 4 rounds, 3 exercises with 30 seconds of rest after. Okay, so there is a little bit of rest here, not a lot. We're going to be pretty much just hanging out on our back up and down in these positions. The first one I will show you. Actually, I'm going to show you all 3 because these ones are quite quick and they're all kind of close. So the first one we're going to do here, we're going to have our hands slightly supporting our hips and lowering our legs down with our back tight to the floor, straight legs, and we're going to work with our flutter kicks. So this is going to be, you guys, for the first 30 seconds. Once that's done, we're going to come up into this position, and the next 30 seconds is going to be working with these V-ups. The last 30 is going to be our Russian twist, where we're touching the floor on both sides, and then we take rest, we do it again, 3 more times, and then we're done, okay? You guys ready? As ready as you're ever gonna be. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1, here we go. So we're supporting the hips, straight legs, squishing the back down, and we want to flutter kick, pointing our toes. The lower you go, the harder, but we have to keep our back down. That is crucial. So if that's not happening, lift them up. You can also do this with bent legs if you can't keep your back down. 10 seconds left. Good job, you guys. All right, so right up into this one, and here we go. Shoulders down, chest up, arms out in front of us, and we're going through our set. Now, if you find this one's too hard, because this one is probably going to creep up on you too, you can have your hands slightly behind you like this, and we're going through 10 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and we stay. 2 hands touches the floor, touches the floor. We're looking to the side that we're going, turning our shoulders right and left. Feet stay up, although if we really need to, we can graze them on the floor. Halfway, you guys. 15 seconds left. Ooh. There you go. Breathe through this one. 3, 2, 1. and rest. So I would suggest you guys lay on your back here and just pop up into a quick bridge. What this is going to do is help us loosen up the hip flexors in the front and just get a little squeeze on in the back of our glutes. It feels nice. And again, it just helps us to give those hips a quick moment, a moment of rest. All right, so get yourself ready because we are going to start our second set in 5 seconds. So we'll support the hips. Oh, yes. Lift up those legs, squish that back down, and go through our set. So we have trying to go with as much control as possible. 15 seconds left, you guys. Most important is that your back is down, okay? Whatever you do, even if your legs are right above your hips, that's completely fine as long as your back is tight. 3, 2, 1, and we sit up. Oh, yes, here we go. Right into these V-ups. So not only do we have a lot of abs and core work, we have a lot of work in our hips, which for some of us might not feel the best. So if you're feeling like a lot of hip, you might benefit from a slight bit of support from the upper body so that you can stay leaned back more, which I really find helps make this feel more in the core and less in the hips. And time, Russian twist, don't go anywhere. Same thing with this one. If you are feeling too much in the hips, raise the feet and just lean back a little bit more. And typically, that makes us feel that a little bit more. Because, you know, we are in the sensitive lower back club, myself and whoever else, which is also the tight hip flexor club, because those two really do go hand in hand. And rest. So same thing, if you guys want to lay on your back, pop up into a quick bridge, loosen up your hips. If not, you can just sit here, you can do whatever you want. Okay, but I find that bridge feels really nice in between these. Take a couple deep breaths, okay? Because we're gonna do this 2 more sets, and then we are done. All right, you guys ready? Starting in 3, 2, 1, and here we go. So we're on our back, flutter kicks, support, and we'll go through. And once you have that contact, it's nice and strong. We're working these kicks with our feet. Try to challenge yourself. Take it a little bit lower. Keep that back down nice and strong. Hold it 10 more seconds. There you go. Nice work, you guys. Breathe. You got this. And up we get. Woo, into the V-ups. No rest in between. Right into it. So we'll try our best to keep our chest up, shoulders back, and use your breath. Every time you come up, exhale to the top. See if that helps. Trust it will. Still gonna be hard though. Just do one more. 3, 2, 1, and pause up here. 2 hands. 2 hands. Very important, because if you're not touching 2 hands, you might just be doing this. It's a very, very common thing that happens in this one. So we want 2 hands to promote that rotation through our core. 10 seconds, you guys. Woo-hoo. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lay on your back. Nice work. All right, you guys, this is it. The final sets. Yay. Starting in 15 seconds. Take this rest here. All right, you guys ready for this? This is it in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Last set. So let's get those kicks on. Straight legs. Straight as you can. Point the toes. Even if you have to lift the legs up a bit higher to get them straight, I prefer that. So make that happen. Halfway there. So last chance to challenge yourself. Push that back down a little bit tighter. Almost there, you guys. 3, 2, 1, and bring it up into your V-ups. So hands are in front of us, chest is high, core is strong, pulling it in as much as you can, trying to keep really good posture. We don't want to round it over. 15 seconds left. Straighten it out. We got this. Let's do this. 3, 2, 1. There it is. Nice work, you guys. Okay, here we go. Up we get into this one. Let's do it. Last one, last chance. Turning, yes, looking to the side. You're going touching the floor. You guys got this. 10 more seconds left. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Bridge it out if you would like. We are so done that part. Good job, you guys. And so if you want to just do a quick moment in this bridge, and you can relax your hips. Hopefully you feel good. We're going to go right into stretching for those hip flexors. And so we got options. If you want to come into the same one that we were focusing on yesterday, the hip flexor stretch. Yesterday, yeah, it was Wednesday. I'm like, what day is it today? I got all messed up. So this one, super great, awesome hip flexor stretch, very basic, gets the job done real well. So if you want to spend some time, 60 seconds on both sides. I recently talked about also how to do this one standing. And I want to come back to it just briefly here because we've been doing a lot of kneeling. And again, I know, because some of you told me that you have sensitive knees and they get sore and just they don't like to be kneeled on all the time. So you can always do this hip flexor stretch standing by just taking a lunge, doing that pelvic tilt. You can extend your arms up and you're going to get a nice opening in this hip here without having to kneel down on that side. So maybe that doesn't matter to you right now, but you never know in the future if you feel like you just want to try something else or not kneel, this is a really good one. So definitely try to hold whatever you're holding here for about 60 seconds per side, which it's been just about a minute here, so you guys can switch if you already started that first side. And also reminder, of course, I feel like I don't need to really remind you guys of this anymore, but feel free to come back here and do a couple more sets. We're gonna finish off with this other hip and then a little bit of upper body stretching. But yeah, we did a lot of stuff with these guys. So if they're feeling tight, you can come back to them. So once we are done this one, we're going to go into our static stretch for our chest and our shoulders. So you guys can find yourself a door frame if you have it, or simply just a wall, and we'll put our hand on it, turn away from it. We'll get that nice chest shoulder stretch going on. So I'm going to leave you guys with this one, and something that you can work on if you want a little bit more of a dynamic or different stretch on this area here is working with the angle in your arm. So normally I just have this arm just stuck out to the side like this, right in line with my shoulder. But if I lift my arm up and I do the same stretch, I feel a lot more kind of down here. And if I lower my hand and I do the same stretch, I feel more up in the top here, like more in the shoulder. So you can take 30 seconds and hold 30 seconds at each. But definitely at least try to do at least one of them to help us loosen up the front side here. And same thing, do it on a door frame or something like that. We know this one helps us promote good posture and overall just loosen up all of the pressing stuff that we do. Because our shoulders are not so happy if we only do pressing and we don't stretch them out in the front here. So take some time, you guys. I am done with you, or you are done with me. We are done with each other. Thank you so much, Carly and Dave, for coming out live. You guys rock. See you guys hopefully tomorrow for leg day. Hopefully you have a great day, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye. And if you're watching the replay, good job. Thank you for joining. Please drop a comment below. Let me know you're here, and I will see ya / not see ya next time. Bye, you guys.